Hey there, retro food fanatics. Welcome back. Forget the gourmet sides of today. We're diving back to the heart of the 1970s American kitchen. Think harvest gold appliances, endless potlucks, and family dinners where a side dish was often the main event. These 25 recipes served in their glorious Jell-O molds and casserole dishes were the true icons of community, comfort, and convenience. They've been forgotten, but the flavor, that lives on. Get ready for a warm, delicious trip down memory lane. Let's dig in. Number 1. Jell-O salad. This quintessential potluck staple became a symbol of 70s home economics, praised for its affordability and versatility. It was never just Jell-O, it was a layered architectural feat, often featuring two distinct, contrasting colors and textures, frequently utilizing lime or lemon gelatin for the base. The most famous versions included a savory component, like shredded carrots, cabbage, or cottage cheese, within the gelatin, creating that distinct wobbly aspen or mosaic effect when sliced. The goal was always maximum visual impact, making it look complicated even if the ingredients were simple. It was the perfect salad to serve alongside a dry meatloaf, offering sweetness and moisture. Number 2. Ambrosia salad. This was the epitome of tropical luxury in a decade that was still heavily reliant on canned goods. Its name, Food of the Gods, gave it an elevated status perfect for Christmas or Easter despite its simple ingredients. The recipe relied on canned mandarin oranges and crushed pineapple for its juice, mixed lavishly with shredded coconut and bound by a creamy matrix, usually Cool Whip, the revolutionary whipped topping that popularized no-bake desserts. The inclusion of colorful maraschino cherries and pecans made it look especially festive on the serving table. Many recipes called for a touch of sherry or brandy to be folded in, giving it a subtle adult kick. Number 3. Green bean casserole. This comfort food powerhouse is a cultural icon, directly stemming from a 1955 recipe developed by a Campbell Soup Company test kitchen employee. Its 70s peak was driven by 3 affordable, shelf-stable convenience items: canned green beans, a can of cream of mushroom soup, and those iconic French's fried onions. The onions weren't just a topping, they provided the necessary crispy texture contrast to the creamy, soft interior, and were often mixed into the casserole as well. The dish was beloved because it required zero chopping of fresh vegetables, a massive time saver for working mothers. The crackle sound as you broke through the onion crust was always the best part of taking the first scoop. Number 4. Scalloped potatoes. These were the height of potato sophistication before the baked potato bar took over, often served with the Sunday roast. Thin slices of russets were layered in a deep dish and bathed in a rich, homemade white sauce, a roux of butter, flour, and milk, seasoned with onions and topped with mild cheddar or Swiss cheese. The trick to a truly perfect 70s version was grating a little bit of fresh nutmeg into the cream sauce for an added layer of warmth. If you heard the sauce gently bubbling from the oven, you knew dinner was close and comforting. Number 5. Macaroni salad. A mandatory cold side at every summer block party and church picnic. This salad was characterized by its tangy, brightly seasoned dressing. The key to its 70s flavor profile was often the use of Miracle Whip, the distinctive zesty salad dressing that was sweeter and more acidic than pure mayonnaise, providing a signature zing. It incorporated crunchy, colorful additions like chopped celery, black olives, sweet pickle relish, and often finely diced pimentos for color and substance. Good macaroni salad had to be intensely creamy, binding every piece of elbow macaroni together tightly. It was mandatory that the flavors mingle in the fridge for at least a few hours, intensifying the tanginess. Number 6. Watergate Salad. Also known as pistachio fluff, this green concoction embodied the decade's love for convenience and novelty. The instant pistachio pudding mix was the hero, giving the entire dish its iconic pale green hue and subtle nutty flavor. It was a no-bake 5-minute wonder. That was the perfect example of using instant foods to make a fun dessert. The whimsical, debated name helped its popularity skyrocket in a decade obsessed with political drama and quick gossip. Its light, airy texture was the perfect counterpoint to the more dense, creamy casseroles at a buffet table. 7. Deviled eggs. These savory bites were cheap, transportable, and instantly satisfying, making them the ultimate communal food and a fixture at every picnic. The yolks were mashed to a fine, smooth consistency with generous amounts of mayonnaise, and often a secret ingredient, a dash of cider vinegar or dry mustard powder, to provide a necessary tang against the creamy base. Presentation was key, often involving a piping bag or a Ziploc with a corner cut off, to create perfect yellow swirls. The little pop of paprika on top made them look truly professional and signaled they were ready to eat. 8. Cheesy broccoli bake. This classic casserole was the defining method of serving broccoli, a vegetable that became widely available, often frozen, in the 70s. The secret to its ubiquitous texture was the use of canned condensed cream soup, cream of mushroom or cream of celery, and plenty of Velveeta or processed American cheese, creating a thick, creamy, and uniform coating. This was a guaranteed way to make children, who often refused boiled vegetables, happily eat their greens. The final flourish of buttery, crushed crackers on top provided the satisfying crunch that defined so many 70s casseroles. Number 9. Sweet potato casserole with marshmallows. This holiday side was purely about maximal indulgence, an unapologetic embrace of sweetness with dinner. The sweet potato base was essentially a spiced pie filling, whipped until smooth with butter, milk, and brown sugar. The generous layer of mini marshmallows was crucial, creating a fluffy, browned, and sticky caramel shell that crackled slightly when a spoon broke through it. It was so sweet, some families actually served it as a dessert. But its traditional place was right alongside the turkey. The scent of cinnamon, butter, and toasting sugar was the unmistakable smell of Thanksgiving morning. Number 10. Pea salad. A uniquely simple, satisfying cold salad that provided a soft, sweet, and cool element to a plate of hot food. Its success relied on using frozen peas conveniently thawed and a good binding agent, a mix of mayonnaise and sour cream, to create a thick, creamy matrix. The peas had to be just slightly crunchy, never mushy to be perfect. Often, the cheese cubes used were sharp cheddar, providing a salty, necessary counterpoint to the sweetness of the peas. Number 11. Three-bean salad. The quintessential, healthy-seeming picnic salad, this dish was a hallmark of the burgeoning salad bar trend of the 70s. It was a colorful, crunchy mix of canned green beans, kidney beans, and wax beans, sometimes including black beans for variety. The beans were submerged and marinated for hours in a bright, aggressive vinegar brine, oil, white vinegar, and sugar, ensuring a pungent, zesty snap that made it the perfect make-ahead dish. The dish was often transported and served in a glass jar, allowing the vibrant colors of the beans and red onions to be clearly displayed. The vinegar marinade was so effective that the beans developed a powerful pickled flavor that only improved after a day or two. Number 12. Baked pineapple casserole. A bizarre but beloved culinary creation, this dish was unique to the American South and served almost exclusively with holiday ham or pork. It defied logic by combining shredded sharp cheddar cheese with crushed pineapple and a small binder of flour and sugar. The slightly acidic juice from the pineapple prevented the cheese from becoming overly oily, ensuring a smooth, gooey texture. The mixture was always topped with crushed Ritz crackers because their inherent saltiness and buttery flavor perfectly complemented the sweet and tart filling. Number 13. Corn pudding. This dish reflected the era's focus on simple, rustic ingredients, acting as a savory baked custard. It was a wholesome blend of eggs, milk, sugar, and both creamed corn, for texture, and whole kernel corn, for bite. It was traditionally baked slowly in a water bath to ensure the center set into a delicate, silky soft pudding texture. A perfect corn pudding was never rubbery, it was silky and soft, tasting purely of corn and fresh dairy. The dish often signaled a meal where family traditions were paramount. Number 14. Carrot raisin salad. A ubiquitous lunchtime side, this simple salad was economical and provided a pleasant, slightly healthy-seeming sweetness and crunch. The foundation was finely grated raw carrots, mixed with plumped raisins, and a dressing often made from a thin layer of mayonnaise to bind, sometimes thinned with a bit of pineapple juice or lemon for brightness. The carrots had to be grated finely to fully absorb the dressing and blend with the soft raisins. It provided a welcome, cool, crunchy element that contrasted nicely with richer main courses like tuna melts or sloppy joes. Number 15. Molded gelatin rings. These were the height of 1970s food artistry, a direct evolution of the savory aspects of the 50s. The gelatin was often tinted a vibrant color, e.g. lime green or cranberry red, and featured suspended, carefully arranged ingredients like pimento stuffed olives, orange slices, or even shredded celery. The clear, jewel-like gelatin was prized for its ability to show off the colorful, suspended ingredients. These were seen as the ultimate sign of domestic achievement, requiring careful timing and temperature control to unmold perfectly. Number 16. Potato salad with Miracle Whip. This salad defined the taste of summer for millions, largely due to the unique, sweet, and tangy flavor of Miracle Whip salad dressing, which was sweeter and more heavily spiced than pure mayonnaise. The potatoes were mixed with crisp diced celery, chopped onions, and chunks of hard-boiled egg. The texture had to be firmly creamy, never runny, and the potatoes had to be perfectly cooked yet hold their shape. The tanginess of the dressing gave this salad a unique pop that cut through the heaviness of typical barbecue food. Number 17. Baked macaroni and cheese. The homemade version of this classic was pure, rich comfort, often made in a deep, rectangular casserole dish. The key was the creamy, thick sauce achieved by using a flour and butter roux and rich milk, combined with sharp cheddar and sometimes a hint of dry mustard. The dish was considered successful only if the sauce was completely smooth with no graininess. The generous oven bake ensured every part of the casserole was warmed and bubbled, creating those perfect, satisfyingly soft bites. Number 18. Creamed spinach. This dish brought a touch of steakhouse decadence to the suburban table. Fresh or frozen spinach was cooked down, its earthiness countered by a rich, thick white sauce made with butter, flour, and heavy cream, often fortified with cream cheese or parmesan. A key, subtle seasoning was a pinch of nutmeg, which truly defined the dish, served warm and creamy in a small, heavy bowl. The creamy sauce helped disguise the strong flavor of the spinach, making it more palatable for the whole family. Number 19. Cucumber onion salad. A refreshing light side perfect for cutting through the richness of summer meals. Thinly sliced cucumbers and sharp red onions were marinated overnight in a simple, cold, sweet and sour brine of vinegar, sugar, and water, often with fresh dill or celery seed. The acidic brine gave the dish a beautiful, slightly milky look when it was ready to serve. It was a favorite for utilizing the massive amounts of fresh cucumbers harvested from backyard gardens in the summer. Number 20. Rice pilaf. This savory rice dish was the slightly sophisticated starch of the 70s, a side dish seen as a subtle elevation from plain white rice. The technique involved toasting the long-grain rice and often broken vermicelli in butter, before simmering it in chicken or beef broth, which imparted a depth of flavor. The toasted vermicelli provided a unique, slightly nutty flavor and texture, distinguishing it from plain rice. It was often served in a decorative ceramic bowl, the steam rising with a fragrant, savory aroma. Number 21. Pineapple cheese casserole. This eccentric side was a regional favorite, especially in the South, that relied on the novelty of combining unlikely flavors. The sharp cheddar cheese and acidic, sweet crushed pineapple created a bizarre but celebrated harmony. It was often served immediately after being pulled from the oven, still bubbling aggressively. This dish perfectly captured the 70s spirit of mixing sweet and savory flavors in bold, surprising ways. Number 22. Cabbage slaw. Beyond the creamy coleslaw, the 70s often featured this more robust, tangy version, sometimes referred to as vinegar slaw. Finely shredded cabbage and carrots were tossed in a potent, zesty marinade of white vinegar, oil, and sugar, often heavily seasoned with celery seed for its distinct aromatic flavor. The slaw was prized because it held its crunch and actually improved after a few days in the refrigerator. Its bright, powerful acidity was essential for cleansing the palate between bites of heavy barbecue and fried meats. Number 23. Baked beans. An absolute requirement for any American backyard cookout. These beans were deep, smoky, and syrupy sweet. They were typically made using canned beans, which were then simmered for hours with molasses, brown sugar, dry mustard, and often a splash of vinegar to balance the sweetness. The smoky scent of the bacon or salt pork permeated the entire mixture, creating a deeply rich, satisfying flavor. They were almost always served from a slow cooker or a heavy ceramic crock pot to keep them piping hot. Number 24. Cornbread stuffing. This regional classic was a must for Southern and Midwestern holiday tables. The foundation was a dry, crumbly cornbread base, which, unlike bread stuffing, held its shape beautifully. It was mixed with a complex blend of sautéed onions, celery, plenty of poultry seasoning, heavy on the sage, and moistened with rich chicken stock. This stuffing was prized for its slightly drier, more savory texture that allowed it to soak up all the gravy without getting mushy. The aroma of sage and celery was the first sign that the holiday cooking was truly underway. Number 25. Hash brown casserole. A true casserole champion of the era, prized for its ease, transportability, and overwhelming comfort factor. The frozen, shredded hash browns, the ultimate convenience item, were mixed with a creamy, rich sauce based on canned cream soup and sour cream, along with lots of shredded cheddar. The crunchy topping of crushed cornflakes was non-negotiable, providing a necessary, salty, textural break to the gooey interior. This was a dish that everyone secretly hoped would have leftovers for breakfast the next morning. There you have it, a comprehensive culinary map of the 1970s, where every casserole dish and molded gelatin ring tells a story of efficiency, community, and unapologetic comfort. These dishes are the taste of family history, served warm in the glow of a harvest gold kitchen. Now, for the last time, which of these 25 glorious forgotten sides needs to be revived tonight? Did your family have a secret ingredient for any of them? Share your memories in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more trips back in time. Thanks for digging in with us.